Wondering what my first video is going to be about? I'll give you a very strong hint. 2003 Volvo S60 P2 version, and I'm going to walk you through some fixes I've done on this car and hope to help you out. Thank you. Hey guys, welcome to Rick's Garage, and I'll tell you, this is the very first video in this new series. I gave you a little bit of a preview the other day of the car I'm going to talk about. But first I'd like to start with talking about why I'm starting this YouTube channel. Well, I'll tell you a story. Many years ago, my very first car, I took it for a tune-up and paid them some good money and took it in. I was so excited to get that car back home. And I got it back home, opened the hood, and guess what? The air cleaner, okay, where the air filter sits, was not even sitting in the right spot. It was, so the car was breathing in dirty air on the entire drive home. And these were professionals. These are people I paid to do the job correctly and who were supposed to be well trained and who actually are supposed to care about my car. Well, that was pretty much the last time I took a car into a garage, and that was about 40 years ago. So I've been working on my own cars for about the last 40 years, and so I want to try and share some of that with you guys and hope it helps you out. And if it does, that's wonderful. I'll look forward to your comments and questions and do what I can to help you. The car I'm going to start talking about is this. It's a 2003 Volvo S60 2.4 turbo, and this is a really interesting car, and I'll tell you why. Well, because some people really like these cars, other people not so much. I'll tell you why I like it. I was driving a Dodge Durango, and the truth is that thing just got really expensive to drive. It just got super expensive. Gas is not cheap, and I needed something that was going to be able to commute with, do some miles on, and be comfortable. And at the same time, I didn't want to spend a heck of a lot of money on this thing. So what I did was I looked around, and I never actually thought about Volvos, but hey, I saw this one on Craigslist and thought, what the heck? So I compared them, and he was asking a pretty reasonable price. And so I thought, okay, I'll go check this thing out. Well, went and checked it out, and everything looked pretty good to me. There wasn't really any problems with the car. It had a light on the dash, but other than that, it was running good, we're stopping good. There's nothing weird with the front end, nothing weird with the handling. It seemed to accelerate fine. So I went ahead and bought it, and things went quite well for a few months. But basically, a little bit later, about 4 months down the road, I started to feel some vibration in the front end. Well, did some research on that. First, I thought it was a engine mount. So I went up and ordered myself an engine mount, and I tend to use Rock Auto. Rock Auto's got some great prices, and I ordered one from Rock Auto. I can't remember, I think I paid something like $20-30 for the thing. Put it on, and the old one was in fact broken and cracked, the top engine mount. And so put it on there. It did seem to help a little bit, but vibration was still there. And over time, over the next few weeks, it got worse. So I thought, okay, well, let's look at this. Sure enough, I checked it out. It was a CV axle. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about that in an upcoming video. And I'm also going to tell you about the worst disaster was the car kind of started acting like the Exxon Valdez. It just started putting oil out. And it got worse and worse and worse until the point where at one point there was literally a pool of oil under the car, and I'm like, no, this is the point where it's not drivable. Low pressure light came on, all this kind of thing, and that was it. So decided to park it for a bit and figure out how to fix this thing. So I'll walk you through that in a coming video and point out to you some really good videos on the subject that will help you to get this job done. Believe it or not, all of these repairs on the car really cost me something around $250 I've put into it. And going to a shop, it would have cost me in a range of $3,000 to $3,500 to fix these problems on the car. So my point is, you just can't afford to take this stuff to a shop. It's just ridiculous. Up here, we're paying $140 an hour for labor, and kind of like my first experience with a shop, a lot of them just don't care. They just don't care. They're busy trying to process cars, make money. Service guys trying to get as much money out of you as he can. That's their goal. They're a business, right? So you've got to figure out how to make this stuff affordable for yourself when you're buying older cars like I am, and doing my best to fix them up and make them work. So I'm going to give you a quick little tour of the inside here just to show you what it looks like. We'll open her up here and take a little peek. Of course, everything works. Alarm works. All the stuff works quite nicely, and it's got a nice sunroof on it, as you can see, all functional. Inside of these cars is really a good-looking car, as you can see. It's very good-looking. Seats are in great shape. This one has about 212,000 kilometers on it when I bought it. It's about 219 now. You know, gorgeous car. Nice leather, good quality leather. Of course, all the power windows, the usual stuff. Pretty good sound system in it. It's just a really nice, well thought out vehicle. And the rear is great too. It's basically a car where you can get comfortable. You can I've even slept in this thing. You can put these back seats down. They fold down, and you can tip the front seat flat. At some point, maybe I'll show you how I do that. And you can actually sleep in it if you want to on a road trip. So it's kind of neat for a tiny little car. Tiny car. Trunk is pretty decent. It's got some pretty good size in here for what it is. Again, 2.4 liter turbo, has about 200 horsepower, 215 pound-feet of torque or so. It's quite fast, actually. You know, it was built to compete with the BMW 3 Series, and it really does a great job of that at a fairly cheap price. You know, suspension is definitely on the touring side of things, so it's softer. You do get a reasonable amount of body roll when you're going through the corners, but you know what? Hey, it's fun to drive, it's cheap, and parts are actually cheap, as long as you shop carefully. Don't go to the dealer. Make sure you use your online resources to get the best prices and deals. Okay, so I think that's it for the first video here, and what I'm going to do is in the next video, I'll kind of talk to you about how I did the CV axle, a little bit about the CV axle, and then I'll get into these oil leak issues and how to replace camshaft seals and the crankshaft seal, which is those end oil pump seals, all that kind of stuff to help you out. Again, I saved myself easily about $3,500 doing those repairs myself, and I'll share some of the fun and some of the frustration with you guys. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this short video, and we'll talk to you again. Thanks for tuning into Rick's Garage. If you like this, give it a like, subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.